These people are preparing for what is likely to be, in the next 2 to 3 years, an invasion by communist China. So do you think their guns should be removed? Taiwan is its own country. It's its own country. And the actions that China has already taken, after Pelosi visited Taiwan, after the president of Taiwan met with McCarthy, and now they put out a video of what an attack on Taiwan would look like. These threats against even American officials at the highest level are absolutely unbelievable to me. And we are not providing Taiwan with the armaments that they need. We are not producing the armaments that we need. Let's take a look. This is France 24, and this is in English. Go.
A few months ago, this former soldier was firing real rounds on Ukraine's front lines.
It was February 26th. I heard Zelensky call on volunteers from all over the world to join. That's when I decided.
Xu Yuan is one of a dozen Taiwanese men who made the 8,000-kilometer journey carrying just one bag. For 7 months, he fought for Ukraine.
I think you can't just let an authoritarian state attack a smaller country. I felt obliged to go and help on the oppressed side.
I love this guy. Absolutely love him. He's on Taiwan. He has absolutely nothing to do with Ukraine. And he's going to put his life on the line. He says, okay, I cannot allow this. I can't watch this. They need volunteers. I volunteer. Go ahead.
In fact, by helping Ukraine, we're helping Taiwan.
Taiwan, with its 24 million inhabitants, also faces threats from its powerful neighbor. Last August, Beijing fired a barrage of missiles over the archipelago for the first time. That's when Xu Yuan decided to return home.
If you die, they put this flag on your coffin. If you don't, they gift it to you.
He also brought back other items from the battlefield, such as a Russian soldier's bag and a personalized flak jacket with the words, "Taiwan stands with Ukraine." This also happens to be the name of a local charity. In Taipei's Liberty Square, members are commemorating the 1-year anniversary of the Ukraine war. One of their guests today is Claire Wang, a lawmaker of the ruling coalition who many were happy to see.
We felt so supported by the government, by the politicians here. It made a huge difference for us.
Since the start of the war, Taiwan has joined the international sanctions movement, banning exports of high-tech goods and chemicals to Russia.
We need to fight Russia. We cannot make Russia more stronger because it is not a democracy country. And
that woman and people like her are on a communist Chinese hit list. If they take that island over, they will execute these people. You won't see it, they'll just disappear. Like the billionaire in Hong Kong who was funding the democracy movement there. He's an older gentleman, he didn't have to do anything. They took him into custody, we've never heard from him again. They disappear because they're killed. It's like the former president of China. What happened to that guy? He was the all-powerful president of China, the head of the Communist Party, for 10 years. And but for him, Xi would not have risen up the ranks at all. And he disappeared. What happened to him? I suspect he's been killed, or he's in an 8x10 cell somewhere. Go ahead.
There's political support and also grassroots support. Solidarity from one nation to another.
They were really understanding, so I'm very touched how Taiwanese people were helping since the beginning of the war by sending supplies.
We stand together because we have a similar experience, a similar past of having this really complicated history with a larger neighboring country that has tried to undermine our sovereignty.
Taiwanese donations have surpassed several millions of dollars and 7 tons in humanitarian aid. Nasu Po is a pro-democracy activist. For him, seeing the images of the invasion for the first time was a real shock, since he has been collecting sleeping bags and clothes for the war effort.
Whether it's for the Sunflower Movement or for the protests in Hong Kong, we've always stood up for solidarity. We have the ability to organize and mobilize. So that's how we were able to initiate this donation drive.
When Nasupo's Ukrainian contacts told him they needed drones, he called his cousin in Taipei. The businessmen donated 10 unmanned aerial vehicles to their cause.
With this drone, they can very quickly see what's around them.
Stop a second. Do you think the Taiwanese should be disarmed of any rifles and pistols they have? This is one of the reasons why the framers, after they adopted the Constitution, they went back with the Bill of Rights and they added the Second Amendment. I know it seems weird, but this is one of the reasons they added the Second Amendment. You need to remember, these men fought for the independence of the colonies, which would become the United States of America, and they needed their weapons. And so that's why there's a Second Amendment. It's not about hunting. It's not about sports shooting. It's not about target shooting. Ultimately, it's about freedom. I'm not talking about turning against our own government. These people aren't turning against their own government. These people are preparing for what is likely to be, in the next 2 to 3 years, an invasion by communist China. So do you think their guns should be removed? The idiocy, the lack of knowledge about what's taking place right now, the lack of knowledge about our history is appalling, particularly when you see fools on TV who spew this nonsense. Go.
We hope that with technology like this in Ukraine, normal citizens can also protect their own communities.
The donation was worth $50,000 US.
I hope the Taiwanese will realize that we're united. Most of all, I hope we show the world our determination.
In Taiwan, the invasion of a young democracy by its larger neighbor is a situation that hits close to home. Some believe it's important to prepare for a possible Chinese invasion. Since his return from Ukraine, Xu Yuan has been working with the Taiwanese Civil Territorial Defense.
I learnt all of this in Ukraine. In Taiwan, you can't learn this. It's possible that enemy soldiers will invade Taiwan, and in that case, everyone should be prepared to stop them.
Surveillance techniques, intelligence gathering, these are workshops that have become more and more popular here in Taiwan.
Freedom in Taiwan is very important. The democratic system gives everyone a space for civil rights. But the Chinese Communist Party doesn't give you that space. That's why I don't want to be governed by them. Even though they promise economic advantages, in reality, they will just oppress us.
Since January, Taipei has tripled national mandatory military service from 4 months to 1 year. Supporters of the change fear the invasion of Ukraine does not bode well for Taiwan.
So sad. Who would have thought of this 5 years ago? Nobody.
Want to see more Mark Levin? Go to levintv.com and subscribe now.